Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talks. So today we've had two protests going on in the UK, one in Bradford and one in Bristol. The one in Bradford was anti-lockdown and the other one was Kill the Bill. Let's look at how the media covered them. Look at this here in The Sun. Rally rage. Bradford protests. 13 arrested as anti-lockdown protesters try to storm vaccination centre and 9 cops hurt in clashes. You see, you can already tell this is an anti-lockdown protest with the overly negative headline. I saw some of this live on YouTube and it looked pretty much peaceful most of the time, but a lot of people getting kettled and split up. But it did look for the most part like a real protest. It says demonstrations turned ugly as up to 400 COVID protesters faced off. They faced off with cops at Centenary Square in Bradford on Saturday afternoon. You see the use of the word ugly, turned ugly. Cops said in a statement many of those who attended were not believed to have been from the Bradford area. Now, I've been watching quite a few of John Overkill's videos lately. He's got a channel on YouTube and he claims that there are many fake protesters planted in anti-lockdown protests in order to discredit the movement, to make it look bad. And one of the people he covers a lot, he calls this guy Grey Bleeder. And I did see him in one of the videos today from Bradford. So he's made his way all the way up from London to Bradford today. It continues. Whilst the majority of protesters were peaceful, some protesters attempted to cause disruption by making their way to a vaccination centre in the city. Now, this is the police talking in The Sun. Now, the police said last week that members of their crew had been injured at the Bristol protest on Sunday. They had broken ribs, they said. Then they turned around and said yesterday that, oh no, we got that wrong. There was no broken bones. So there's no point listening to anything that they say, bunch of liars. And so you can see the way this is presented. The photographs, people getting arrested, photographs of protesters shouting at the police, picked out to make the protesters look as hostile as possible. Now, even though I am sure there are plenty of shills placed in the protest at Bradford, I still believe it was an authentic protest. So let's take a look at Bristol, where unlike Bradford, they are all wearing masks. These people are not protesting against lockdowns. They're not protesting against children, say, wearing masks in schools. No, their protest is Kill the Bill, which is against a crime bill, which of course is bad, but is only there because it's been put there to enforce the lockdown and to stop lockdown protests. Anyhow, never mind that. They're all wearing masks and they're all young, pretty much. And look at how The Guardian covers it. It says here, protest is a human right. One long week in Bristol, a city with a history of dissent. Demonstrations against the police bill follow a long tradition of radicalism. Protesters say that after last week's violence, their side of the story has not been told. So here we have a Guardian article out today telling the side of the story from the protesters. Yeah, you ever seen an article in the mainstream trying to show the anti-lockdown protesters' side of the story? No, I haven't seen that either. Now, you remember the anti-lockdown protest in Bradford, and that was said to be ugly and focused on the arrest. Here in The Guardian it says, as the grey rain clouds over Bristol's crumbling graffiti-scrawled Georgian streets and tower blocks gave way to cool spring sunshine, a diverse crowd of mainly young people assembled on muddy College Green, starting point for so many of the city's demonstrations over the years, including the Black Lives Matter march that toppled the statue of slave trade Edward Colston last June. And then we get quotes from a protester. It says, I've got all of my rights from protest, said Ellen Healy over chants and the buzz of a police helicopter. As a young lesbian, I owe everything I have to protesting. Take away protest is taking away human rights. All right, I'm not arguing with the sentiment, but you see the difference in the way it's being presented in the mainstream media, in the way it's being reported. Now, like I said before, the Bristol protests, Last Sunday, for instance, with the police vans getting burnt out. Turned out neither vehicle had an up-to-date MOT. They were probably props. Police did nothing. They let the protesters run rampant, burning a police van, whilst photographers from the mainstream media got loads of shots for the tabloids the next day. These protests look fake. I mean, I was watching it last night and it looked like a film set. It didn't look like a protest. Police standing around, a few hundred standing on the other end. Nothing going on, nothing happening. Looks like a film set waiting for a director to say action. I mean, look at this photograph. Say cheese, I mean, come on. And you may say, oh, Hugo, are you saying that everybody there is pretending? And I'm saying no, but a lot of them could be. And you may ask, well, how could that be? Well, you see, look at this website. It's called crisiscast.com. It specialises in getting large casts of actors to pretend they are in an emergency situation. It says here, Crisis Cast, award-winning filmmakers, virtual reality producers and real play actors specially trained in disaster and crisis management. We dramatise events across multiple platforms for emerging security needs in the UK, Middle East and worldwide. Our specialist teams, many with security clearance, are trained by behavioural psychologists and rigorously rehearsed in criminal and victim behaviour to help the police, the army and the emergency services, hospitals, schools, local authorities, government, private security firms, shopping centres, airports, big business, criminal justice departments, media and the military to simulate incident environments for life-saving procedures. So they're claiming that they do this to train people in certain situations. And as you can see, it's linked to the Army, the Ministry of Defence, and they say it's all for training purposes. Here it says, our role-play actors are psychologically trained in criminal and victim behaviour. They bring intense realism to simulated mass casualty incidents on the battlefield, during kidnap and ransom and emergency evacuation situations, and in hostile threat incidents in urban or public places. You've got protest pictures, and then if you go to the About page, it says large-scale incidents. We can provide up to 400 actors, fully trained and rehearsed, along with professional teams that look after makeup, prosthetics, pyrotechnics, wardrobe, special effects, covert and aerial footage. So, when you see this, it's a possible thing to do. You could possibly stage a kind of mini protest, like the ones you're seeing in Bristol at the moment, with 400, 500 people. So you know it's possible, okay? So crisiscast.com is an interesting website to look at. If you want a crisis actor, you go to crisiscast.com. As always, thanks for listening. Come and subscribe to hugotalks.com. Come and subscribe to the tribe. I'm trying to create a network of people with like-minded thoughts in their minds. And I'll see you later.